She died by jumping in front of a moving train. I'll say it with confidence, it killed my daughter. But ironically, till today, even our statement has not been taken. The easiest way to
Hey everyone, welcome to Driven Life TV. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Please, let's get to 400 subscribers. I really appreciate the support you've been showing me. Thanks. Today we have a very interesting story to cover. A lady dies at the hands of love. Is it murder? Is it suicide? We're going to determine after watching the case study. But before we get to the case study, I have a few things that I want us to really think about and look at, okay? Because this is going to set up a good platform for us to watch the story at the end of this and then see what your thoughts will be after that. The thing that I want to share with you, maybe a few points that I want to share with you at the beginning, are concerning how to select a partner and what is involved in that. Okay, because a story that we're going to share at the end is related to this. Number one, I think the romantic idea of dating strangers, I feel like it's one of the most dangerous things that people do. Because most of the times I have seen it happen a lot, especially in our time where people, with the emergence of dating apps, social media, and even people going abroad for masters or so for studies, what has happened for the most part is that people end up meeting strangers from other countries or even from this country, where what ends up happening is they start to date them after just knowing a few things about them, maybe from social media or maybe from people that they have just met wherever they are. Okay, what happens is they end up dating strangers not knowing much about them, and most of the times what ends up happening is that most people are harmed, most people are heartbroken to realize just the true nature of these people that they're actually dating. For me, I feel like everybody needs to have a rule of thumb that you need to date somebody you know. Okay, I know sometimes there are these exceptions to the rule where people go out there, meet strangers. It ends up being a fantastic love story, and everybody's like, wow, this is a movie right here. But what happens is that that is an exception, not the rule. And not everybody ends up experiencing their love journey like that. And so, what I want you to understand is it's so important that you actually date people you know. Okay, settle it in your heart to say, avoid strangers until you know and you have adequate information about them. Okay. Am I saying it's wrong? No. I'm saying that it's safer not to. Number two, don't start living with someone before you marry them. From the story, we'll see why I'm actually sharing this. Okay? Most people in our time are starting to do these things where they end up visiting someone they're dating. Maybe he's visiting their house and then they end up spending a few days there. Never do that. Okay? Until you get married to someone. And don't get married to someone until you have adequate knowledge of them. Okay? Number three, make sure you determine in your heart that you're going to run at the first sight of abuse. Okay, I have counseled so many people who are in relationships where there is visible abuse. Visible. Okay, it's not even something that you're exaggerating. It's actually abusive physically. Sometimes it's verbally, but most of the times I've counseled people who are being physically abused in dating relationships, and you see the person staying there. Okay, the question you ask yourself is, do you love yourself? And why are you still in that relationship? You know, I've seen people being in relationship where they're being beaten every time they do something wrong. Okay, every time, of course, they did something wrong, but do they deserve a physical punishment for it? So you see people being in these relationships where they're being punished physically, they're being abused, they're being touched in inappropriate ways, but they're still in that relationship. This is wrong, you know. So make sure you determine in your heart to say you're not going to be in any scenario where you're being abused and you tolerate it. Okay, remember, whatever you tolerate you can never change. Okay, so do not stay in abusive situations. Number four, don't hide your dating journey from the people that you love, from your guardians. Okay, I've seen this. I think most of the times people are rebelling from this culture that the Bible teaches us. In the Bible, you never saw anyone starting a relationship that leads to marriage without their parents knowing about it, without their siblings knowing about it. And if you're a lady, make sure if you have male siblings, let them know. the person you're actually dating. I know with the dynamics in family, some of you may be like, no, why should they know? Some of you maybe may have younger siblings who are male, and you're like, what's the point? I'm the older one. Okay. Sometimes you look at family dynamics where you're like, I can't take them seriously. Sometimes they'll just keep me from being with this person. But I'm telling you, there is safety in actually introducing men to men. Okay. Tell your father about it. Okay. I know some of you will be like, you don't know my dad. Okay. I get that. I get that. Sometimes our parents may not really be open to such things. Maybe tell your uncle, someone who you may feel like maybe may receive the news in a better way. Tell your uncle. Tell somebody. Don't do these things in secret. Otherwise, we end up yielding results like the one we'll see in this story right here. Okay. I want you to understand that from the Bible, the blueprint is that family has to know your whereabouts, whatever you're doing, the people that you're getting close to. When it comes to issues of marriage and dating and love, make sure that the family knows about what you're doing. Okay? For me, that's my principle in life because I learned it from the Word of God. Okay? So I want you to understand there is safety in these things. But without much ado, there is a story that we need to look at. So there is a dad who is narrating this story. A daughter dies, okay? And it's because she got into a relationship with someone who was a stranger, okay? Let's see how this story goes.
She died by jumping in front of a moving train. I'll say it with confidence, it killed my daughter. But ironically, till today, even our statement has not been taken. The easiest way to explain this is to use the pattern of incidents from the beginning to the end. It's going to help you understand what actually happened. When he met her, even he has confirmed it himself, she was very perfect and she actually inspired him. When she showed me his picture, I've never been in agreement with him at all. I've always told my daughter, the reason why you were able to finish your university was because you didn't have a boyfriend. I know what guys do, I know how we do with girls, and I know how girls do. Don't fall in love yet, just try. You finished your degree because there was no boyfriend. Now, you're at KPMG, you've got a mission, a target. Get your ACA first, and you're free, and you'll have more options. So when this guy came up and she showed me his picture, I was not happy, and she knew. But I didn't tell her directly to her face that no, otherwise she would start hiding things from me. But she knew I was not happy about it. That was how I got to know about him. But after meeting her, like I said, there's this pattern of incidents from the beginning to when she died. And I'm saying let's split into 3 sections. So the first part, after meeting her, she was fine. The first part are things that he did that made her vulnerable. Now, I will tell you what the examples. He met her, he didn't tell her he had an infection. The infection is a viral, it's called herpes. Because herpes is permanent, there's no cure. Once you catch it, you're a carrier. You'd have to explain to your next partner that you have it, if you're honest. So you infected her deliberately, that's like to trap her. She can't go anywhere else. That's one. Wasn't allowed to speak to other men. He also misrepresented. He pretended I was a very rich guy who had multiple businesses. This is my daughter who I look after, I support. She now feels she has found somebody. Took her to his parents in Spain. Promised to marry her. Promised to invest in her future. My brother, this thing now turned out to be lies. He didn't have the money he claimed to have. All the plans he planned with her, he couldn't afford them. That went on for a while. The second section of events, I feel, what made her mental health deteriorate. So after doing all those things to the person, imagine now, all of a sudden, he starts shouting at her. There's evidence of all these things. Asking for a bank statement. Demanding for money. My daughter can never even let me see a bank statement. With the evidence we have, she now started, after that event, she panicked and started doing web searches on how to take her life. We found out afterwards. The final parts are things he did that actually led to her doing what she did. Because even the corona, when they want to look at this thing, they won't just look at how she died, they look at the circumstances that led to it. So the final things which he did, which I think broke the camel's back, the final straw. After shouting and demanding for her bank statements, he now went and stole her password. Broke into her phone when she was sleeping, This she has already admitted in writing. When she was sleeping, stole her information, threatened her with the information he stole by saying that he had told her friends, removed her from his house violently, and seized her passport, which she required to claim the money, and other belongings, kicked her out. So I've broken into your phone, I've stolen your information, I've threatened you, and I pushed you away. Every step along, she told her mother. When he infected her, send the mother the evidence. When he shouted and he apologized, send the mother the evidence. So when this thing was getting out of hand and he had broken into her phone, she called her mother. And mother rushed to Manchester. Then the following day, it continued. The mother was actually a witness to what happened. When he was making his demands over the phone, the threats and all that. And when he was gaslighting her. So the mother was totally broken. You know, after the communication between themselves, which lasted about 6 p.m. or so, she told her mother she was going for a walk to clear her mind. The mother was saying she shouldn't go, that she'll make some dinner, whatever, then she hold on. She said that mother shouldn't worry, that she's got her phone, she's coming back. Alanis didn't come back. She died on the 29th of May in the UK at Manchester, a station called Eccles. She died by jumping in front of a moving train. So the mother has been so broken, you know. Even when the policemen came, the mother told them that it's even the mother that made the police aware of the existence of this person. That was how they contacted him, got his statement. But ironically, till today, even our statement has not been taken. Very strange, you know. That's where we are. So the mother was totally broken. Totally broken. I didn't get to know till the following day. When I contacted him out of love to find out what really happened, he still shared some of the stolen information with me as a way to make me scared. Something that no parents will want that information to come outside. And now show me the demand for money, mention the amount. I'll be happy if I can help him. That money is about to go into financial ruin after she has died. Somebody you claim to love. Somebody you told that you have the money, you're going to take care of her. It came with the intention to get money from this girl. Because she was introduced by a so-called best friend, who's not a best friend, to this guy. That's his accomplice. After she died, this girl has got to spend time with this guy, and they are united in their story against my daughter. I'll say it with confidence, he killed my daughter. He killed her. Because she was already vulnerable already due to what he had done to her. My daughter was my first child. From day one, I fell in love with this girl from day one. This is a girl that I felt if she dies, I'll die. Very ambitious girl. Her plans. She was planning that within the next 2 years or so, she'll be private. This girl had a very bright future. She had a bright future ahead of her. She had done so much. She had suffered. Sacrificed a lot. Stayed up all night to read. To pass. Look, KPMG, the ACA, it takes you 5 years to pass the exams, right? She passed it in 10 months. 10 months. Trying to impress her father as well. And to get there very fast. Because she saw that I was very slow in my own my startup. She tried, she really tried. So I mean, it's just for other people. But if for other people we just get it justice, for other people's sake, that people don't do this again to other people. I think Alanis has actually achieved something.
So, as you can see, this is a very sad story. You see the dad is visibly emotional, just remembering the story, just remembering his daughter and what she went through. You can see how people can be cruel, okay? You can see how people can have so much evil in their hearts. All I'm telling you is sometimes we have this habit where we feel like we know what we're doing every time. But I'm telling you, sometimes love can blind you. Sometimes love can keep you from seeing things that are actually obvious. Okay, that's why you need to tell people who love you about these things that you're doing. Okay, I know it looks romantic. I know you want that story that you go out there, you find somebody, nobody knows about it. You end up having a loving story afterwards. I'm telling you, sometimes these things lead to very dire results. And so I want you to really be careful. I'm only here to share with you wisdom. For me, I'm one who says, if you are a man, okay, you need to make sure that the parents of a girl know you as you're dating her. Not that you are introducing yourself to get married to her. Not really. Okay, it's just for them to know you. Okay, that's how I feel like it's a biblical thing to do. And sometimes, even as a lady, make sure your parents know the person you're dating. If not your parents, let your male siblings actually know about this. Okay, because it helps, it guards, it's a very big protective strategy that God puts in place. There's a reason why in the Bible things used to happen like this. I don't know why we're abandoning this. God needs to help us, man. Thank you so much for watching. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Let us get to 400. Until next time, have a good one.